You desire and you do not have, so you murder. You're covered and cannot obtain, so you fight and call. You do not have because you do not ask. James 4 verse 2.
Hi fam bam, it's me, just Londa. Can we talk that talk?
This is what I tell people. If you watch us or you listen to us, I'm a conversationalist. If you want hard hitting, that's 60 minutes. That's Dateline. That's 48 hours. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to open up the floor. I'm not going to cut the guest off. A lot of times, people that have platforms like this, they like to hear their voice. When people watch, when they turn on and they listen and they watch or they listen to Club Shay Shay, they want to hear my guest voice. So my job is to get out of the way. P-Mac, I had to make a split-second decision because when he came on, he was already on one. If you remember, he was doing this. So I already knew because he were talking, and I was like, okay, let's get him mic'd up.
How long you talked to him before?
We talked, he got there early. So that's why I lost track of time. Because normally when they said, okay, we're going at noon, okay, I get there around 11:30. CJ and I, who is the producer, any last minute, things, and I'll go and I'll say, CJ, I think I want to start here, and I want to go in this direction. He's like, okay, hey, I trust you. Do what you do. And so he gets there early. And so he's talking, and I said, okay, let's get him mic'd up. So we go 15, 20 minutes before the noon hour. So I'm thinking in my mind, damn, we started at noon. But I forgot that we started 20 minutes early. And so once he gets going, so I'm like, okay, he says, so I give my introduction, welcome to Club Shay Shay, blah, blah, blah. I tell you who he is, some of the things that he's done. And so how you doing, Kat? We toast. And now I'm about to ask my first question, and he says, I want to tell you why I came. Okay, tell me why you came. He goes 30 minutes before I'd ask the question. Now, I could have easily cut him off.
El Portier.
Yeah. I could have easily cut him off, P-Mac. But if I'd have cut him off, maybe he loses his train of thought. Maybe he doesn't get to what he got to. He goes 30. Okay, now it's my time to get in here. Okay, where you from? But a lot of the stuff he was saying, because I don't live in that world. People think because, oh, Shannon, you live in Hollywood, you have that. You must have heard. You must have been. No, bro. I got my own thing. And what somebody else has going on, ain't got ish to do with me. That ain't my life. That doesn't pay my bills. So why am I worried about what somebody else is doing? Okay, you decide, fans, listening, watching. You decide whether or not you believe him. Was it tough hearing some of the things that he was saying? Yes, because I have a personal relationship with Earthquake. I've had Steve Harvey on the show. I consider him a friend. I've had Ricky Smiley on the show. Kevin Hart, I've been to his home. So to hear some of this stuff, but it's not my place to say, Kat, you got to stop. Oh, you wrong, that's a lie. Because I'm taking, just like when Ricky Smiley said that he was originally supposed to play the Santa Claus, I'm taking him at his word because I wouldn't know that. Nobody's ever heard that before. I'm thinking that's truth because he's on the set.
Credible source.
Yes. Yeah. So why would I, so if I'm to believe that someone is coming on my show and everything out of their mouth is a lie, why the hell would I have them on?
And I appreciate him for allowing people like Monique and Cat Williams to.
All right, fam bam. So I am back. And I've noticed that people are hating on Club Shay Shay. And once again, it's us. It's us hating on each other. I'm telling you, cluck your culture, get on God's culture. Because we don't know how to, quote unquote, stick together. And it shows. It's the proof. People who don't like the truth don't love God. It says so in the Bible. The jealousy is real. The hating is real. So if you don't know, there are people that does interviews. Okay, people that does interviews, and they're all hating on the fact that Shannon is doing numbers like crazy, and they're wondering why, he's not grilling them and this and this and that. But he already explains to them who he is. He's not a journalist. He's not doing those. He's giving people comfortable place to let it all hang out. So I wanted to start off with this. I need to turn it down first. So give me a second.
That's just what it is.
Oh my gosh,
I wouldn't let him go hard as he did on a lot.
Because
I should speak their mind. That's just what it is. I wouldn't let him go hard as he did on a lot of people on our show. I just wouldn't, because we got relationships with him. That's just what it is. You don't have a show. So you wouldn't know what you would do. We've done hundreds of shows. So we know how to handle that type of shit. The whole world talking about the cat interview. The whole world. Everybody giving their opinions. But I can't speak on it because I'm so live. It ain't got nothing to do with you. Well, go on everybody else's page and tell them that too.
So you see our good friend Steven, he's, he's so live. He wouldn't let Cat Williams go off the way he has. Well, you know what? This is the same man that is profiting, and I say that loosely, off of another man's death. What I mean, like, profiting is like, he's like my brother and stuff like that. Like, no one was caring about him until this George Floyd things came about. But I could be wrong because I'm not into sports unless my child plays or my husband plays, then I'm into it. Or if I play flag football, something like that. I'm not really into it. I'm not really looking like that. So I don't know. But, maybe they didn't want to come on your channel or on your podcast. Maybe there's something about you that doesn't make them feel comfortable enough to get those hard-hitting and ask all those questions because you wouldn't let them go live. You wouldn't let them be all rowdy. Don't be upset because of this. Don't be upset because of this. This is God's doing his work through these people. Don't be upset with that. Look at yourself before you look at Club Shay Shay and for the numbers that he is doing. Don't come for us being able to watch and defending Shay Shay for what's going on because you're so real. If you're so real, keep your opinions to yourself and catch up. Catch up with him. You know what I'm saying? But you're not, because that was God. That clearly was God doing work. Because no one had cared about Shannon at all. He was a fly on the wall because he wasn't doing numbers until this happened. This happened. Another one.
And we talking somebody, it could be Kwame Brown, it could be T.O., it could be somebody. I talk sports. I didn't get in anybody's personal life, characterizing and castigating anybody. That's not selling out. That's doing my job of covering sports. It's not Monique's job.
That is his job. Stephen A. Smith, to cover sports, right? Because you're covering Shannon and his numbers too, right?
To do what she just did. It wasn't Cat Williams' job to do what he did on Club Shay Shay weeks ago that now has over 68 million views, by the way.
That's the problem. That is the problem. The hating is real. The hating is real. Why are you going to hate on this man who is your friend? Because you say you have a rapport with this man. You say you have a rapport with this man. But yet you're hating on his success that God has given him. It wasn't Cat Williams' place. It wasn't Monique's place to say anything. Well, whose place was it? Because clearly people were just standing by and letting these things happen. So who's going to speak for them if they clearly knew that they were being blackballed? Who's going to stand up for them? Because you didn't do it. Who's going to stand up for him? and her. Who? See, you put people in these places, in these spaces, and God's like, you know what? Let me put you in this space and see how it works. Clearly, he's upset about those numbers. I totally forgot that buzz, but I'm gonna find it so I can put it up here. But who am I? I'm nobody. I'm just a child of God, looking at it through it as much as I can, not of my flesh.
It wasn't their job to call out Kevin Hart and Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, Ricky Smiley, Michael Blackson, Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry.
You hear the names that he calls out. These are all the people who have done wrong to those individuals. It wasn't their place to call them out. Well, whose place was it, Pumpkin? Whose place was it? Whose place was it? Was it yours? What was you going to do about it? Absolutely nothing. They have gone years with being blackballed, and nothing was done. But now these people go on a man's podcast, YouTube channel, and they have a voice that ruffles your spirit, and you have something to say about it. How that spirit doesn't look good on y'all.
Wasn't their job. That was a choice. A choice that extended far beyond the corridors of their job. And looking.
It wasn't their job, he was saying. Again, whose job was it? Because no one else stood up for them. Whose job was it? Because we all stood by and watched Monique get blackballed. We all stood by when Cat Williams, and Cat Williams been that person, and that's why I always listen to him, because he was always hitting facts. When it came out with that, and all of a sudden there's a solution to all these problems within a year. Y'all all ran to it. Look what happened. Look what happened. So when these people have voices, my husband is so, he makes me so sick sometimes. Oh my God. When these people get a chance to have these voices, because clearly they've been speaking for a long time, but God has like, let me make that voice a little bit louder. That spirit, it's something awful on y'all.
At one another with an elevated level of skepticism and disgust, while having others outside of our community look at us that way as well. I will remind you that Shannon Sharpe is a major contributor to my...
He's right. People on the outside are looking at us. But what when they weren't looking at us? We protest because of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud. I know I said his name wrong. We start up Black Lives Matter. And then look what happened with that. What happened? They've always been looking at us. There's a reason why they've always been looking at us.
My daytime job, which is First Take on ESPN. And to be quite honest with you, we've grown to become friends. I got a lot of love for the brother. I respect the hell out of him. He's a 3-time Super Bowl champion. He's a Hall of Famer. And the reality is that he's doing big things. You can say what you want, but 68 million views for the Cat Williams interview is 68 million views.
There he goes again. There he goes again with those views. That spirit is not cute on y'all. It's not. It's not. It's not cute on y'all. I am not saying you know what? I feel my flesh about to be fleshed. Let me keep on my good foot. Let me keep on God's good foot. That spirit is not. It doesn't look cute on you. Because I hear how you're giving him his accolades. I hear how you're giving him his accolades. But that view count, you got a problem with that. And that spirit is showing. It is boiling and festering. It's festering on people. People that love the truth will hate God, and it will show. And I'm not saying he's not a man of God, but it's that spirit on those people.
First order of business with Monique in this interview in day one, with it being 5 million views. Ladies and gentlemen, that's over 73 million views. You can say whatever you want to say. You just can't take away from that reality and what Shannon Sharpe has brought to the table.
Yes, with Shannon Sharpe. This guy, the one with the heavy tongue, the one who y'all keep mocking. God has put him on a platform and said, do my work. I'm going to bring you my people. And you're going to prosper. And you're going to make those people very upset.
The flip side to that, however, is that when you do interviews of this nature, we've heard noises emanating from our community because both of us are black men. Dion Cole alluded to on numerous occasions in terms of negativity selling, in terms of us going after one another. What Chris Spencer alluded to when he talked about how nobody does this to one another but black people. It's inescapable.
You're absolutely right. But you know who else? Who just sits back and watch? But where did the Me Too movement come from? No. Why was that started in the first place? See, just because we call out our people, don't think they don't call out theirs. It's a whole movement, pumpkin. Yeah, we have some issues. That's why I said clock your culture. Clock it. Get on God's good foot. Be a part of the kingdom world. And look with your spiritual eyes. Don't think that just because he's calling out, these people are calling out others, that other cultures don't do it. It was a whole freaking movement, pumpkin. It was. But who am I?
I don't believe that Shannon Sharpe is just an entertainer. I don't believe that Shannon Sharpe is just an entertainer. I believe he's a voice. He's a voice in our community that is elevating by the day. He matters. And because he matters, with that level of significance and cachet comes a level of responsibility, some would say. But when you do it to the point where you're trying to act as if he shouldn't have them as guests, or somehow, some way, he could have curtailed or edited out what they've said, I'm not going to go that far.
He is a voice. And apparently, his voice is not lining up with your spirits. It's festering. It's festering. You know, it's a shame. It really is a shame. I lost my train of thought just that quickly. You know, things go out, it goes in and it goes out just like that. But it's showing.
Shannon Sharpe is under no obligation. Shannon Sharpe is under no obligation to edit or alter genuine thoughts that his guest
Why would
has.
he want to, is the question. Why? If the truth shall set you free, why would you want to edit those things? These are things that happen to these folk. See, when the Me Too movement happens, you know, we were all for it. Or people get blackballed by their own, oh, we don't do that. That's because the gatekeepers are gatekeeping.
On his shows. If that's how they feel, that's how they feel. Now, would I have been a little bit different? Sure, because I'm a trained journalist. And as a result, the level of pushback that I would give, I'm seasoned and trained to do it, spanning 30 years.
You're a trained journalist. This man is giving people a voice. He's not giving them any scrutiny. He's not giving them any pushback. He's letting their voice be heard. See, that's the difference between a trained journalist and a person that just wants to listen and let them be heard. Because you want to get out the hard-hitting facts and you want your numbers to come up. This man just wants to let these people have their own voice and tell their story. See, that's the difference between your hard-hitting journalism for 30 years and this man.
When Shannon Sharpe was on Club Shay Shay, or Nightcap rather, weeks ago, and he said to Chad Ochocinco during one of his telecasts, I'm not Ed Bradley, the late Ed Bradley, God rest his soul. I'm not 60 Minutes. I'm not 48 Hours. I'm an entertainer. My only retort to him was that you're not just an entertainer, you're a voice. And take that voice into consideration whenever you do whatever it is that you do, so you're never telling somebody that you're just an entertainer.
So you want him to edit himself. He said he's an entertainer. He's not just an entertainer. I get it. But again, that's not what God has for him. Clearly, that's not what God had for him. And again, those spirits are showing, Pumpkin. You might want to pick up a Bible, go to church.
Because you're more than that. Outside of that, I have a very, very, very difficult time looking at the day and age that we're living in. Seeing 68 million views here, 5 million views there, over 73 million views for just 2 interviews, and asking somebody to ignore the significance of that, knowing most people wouldn't.
That jealousy spirit, hating spirit. Oh, how you do not love to hear the truth. Or at least their truths. Because in the end, we all know they've been blackballed. Monique has put out the recordings on Tyler Perry. So I don't get it. because he's doing these numbers, it's a problem. It's a problem. Don't come after God's messenger like that. Because God's going to sit back. Am I done? Oh, I guess that is the end of it. But you know, I'm not going to keep rambling, but I just wanted to say that spirit is very ugly on people that are hating on Shannon. It's very telling. And the Bible just opens up in front of us. All these things. It just mirrors what it all says in here. So, I don't know. I'm just a nobody trying to tell people about God. People, things that goes on in the Bible. Putting the real world up with what's going on. Because you're going to love one more than you love the other. So on that note, fam, comment down below. I mean, good or bad, I don't care. You know, it is what I say it is. If I feel like I'm wrong, I'll say it. I will. I have no qualm saying that I'm wrong with something. But y'all can't get on Shannon because God is using him. If you're upset with Shannon, be upset with him. So on that, fam, thanks for watching, rating, subscribing, all that good jazz that makes me feel so warm and fuzzy inside. Peace and peace. Bye.
Because and the audience knew. Prior to Ricky Smiley saying that. So Cat came back and he responded. Okay, so what you want me to say? And Cat said, well, Shannon, he said that in your face. I said, Cat, why would I assume that he's lying, considering he's on the set?
Right.
I'm assuming that people are coming here and they're telling me the truth. Right. I got no reason to believe that they're lying. Or in other words, he said,
that's funny though, huh?
Oh, okay.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I like that.
But check this out. I ain't doing no gossiping.
Right.
They say what they say. I'm done with it.
Right.
I ain't going back and forth. Ooh, tell me more, Monique. Tell me more. Or tell me more, Cat. Tell me more. He said what he said. I'll move on to the next subject. Yeah. Next topic.